Wow. Today, we have with us writer, producer, director, Randy Copus. I'm saying it right?
That's right. That's right.
Copus. And your music video is called She Moved Through the Fair,
That's
right?
right. That's
That's
right.
right. So, yeah, a few questions. So,
Okay.
you do also the music,
That's
or
right. We
so
did.
you did the whole shebang?
Yes, my wife and I and my daughter actually we
Yeah.
have a group
Yeah.
together and we created the she's the singer on the album
Nice.
and she just turned 17, so she's been with us working
Beautiful voice,
with
by the way.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And she's been working on that since or working with us since she was about 8, 9 years old. So
Nice.
she's like a full member of the group now. And yeah, we recorded all of that music. We did it for we're on a record label right now, Mindstream Music, which is out
Hmm.
of Los Angeles, out of
Yeah.
Beverly Hills there. And and then this was going to be the first music video that we did and we released the album, or we finished the album in January. We released it in April.
Yeah.
So we were starting to get all the videos, in February, together that we were going to do. This was going to be the first one.
Yeah.
And but then COVID hit, and the whole pandemic started, and there, we had to have actors, we had to have, in costume, we had to go on location. None of that was going to happen, right? I mean,
Yeah.
everything
I
was
know.
locked down. So we put that aside and we went and did a couple of other videos, and then a friend of mine who actually ended up helping uh, me produce this, Tim Kennedy, he came to me in, I think it was May, and um, he said, if you don't do this video, you're never going to do it again. You're never going to have a chance to do it again. And I was like, well, you're right. And the restrictions had eased up at that point, enough to where we could actually, get the actors and actually put the thing together and do it in a
Yeah.
limited format, but still we were able to, and we went on location and shot it over the summer.
The location that you used, so where was that?
That was in Bastrop, Texas, which is, gosh, it's like maybe 30 miles south of Austin.
Okay.
And it's way out in, I mean, it's the wilderness out there. It's just woods.
Yeah.
And the place is an actual fair. They do a big fair there every year, where
Yeah.
um Sherwood Forest Fair.
Yeah. And
And
so,
so they do the big fair there. Well, because of COVID and everything, they were completely shut down 3 weeks into their season. So it was empty. So we had this giant park, and all of these old buildings, and since the story was set, around the turn of the 19th century, that's, around 1790 to 1800, we needed that kind of location,
yeah.
that those natural buildings and all of that. So, or what the song is about is, and a lot of people don't know that it's what it's about. It just sounds like a nice song, but it's about the boy and the girl, and they meet and fall in love, and they're going to get married. Well, apparently she dies,
Yeah.
and they're never wed. They're never able to get married, and he's sorrowful and everything. And at the end, the last verse,
Yeah.
uh, she comes in and she comes in
She passed.
softly.
Yeah.
Her feet make no din; they make no sound.
Yeah.
And to me, that sounds like a ghost.
Yeah.
You
Correct.
come coming in,
That's what
she,
my impression was too.
yeah, and she whispers to him, "It will not be long till our wedding day." So she whispers to him. So I'm thinking, well, maybe he's old at this point,
Yeah.
And that's always the way it struck me. I didn't know that most people didn't know that that's what that song was about.
That's what hit me. Like later was in the video, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is the guy. He is older, and she passed. She's actually there to get him.
That's right. Yeah, she comes to get him. Yeah, to take him with her. And it's just such a sweet little story, but it reminded me so much. The song reminded me so much of a little movie
Yeah.
from the 1940s that I just loved. It was a little black and white movie called The Ghost and Mrs. Muir.
Yeah.
I think it Rex Harrison, or who is it? Old, dead sea captain, comes, and this lady moves, a widower, she moves, or widow, she moves into a house, and he's still living in the house. He's a ghost. and he's an old sea captain. Well, they have a relationship and everything. Later on, she needs to live her life, so he causes her to forget, and then when she's dying at the end scene, he comes in and he picks her up, and that's where I got the idea for the ending, because Irish, tunes and stories typically don't have real nice endings. I mean, it's like it's tragic. She died. She comes in. She's a
Yeah.
ghost, and that's it. Then he dies. That's it.
Yeah.
Um, End of story. And so, but I thought, I grew up with American television and stuff, and it's got to have a happy ending or something's just wrong. And so that's why I put why I had her come and get him, and they, you
Yeah,
know,
I completely, that's what I felt. So that's what I wanted to ask you. But yeah, your family is all in the video, and then the actors. So who's more in the video?
okay. We only have we have the Sarah, who's my daughter. She's the
Yeah,
singer.
she's a
Um,
storyteller.
and I'm not in the video, and Pamela is not in the video. My wife Pamela's not in the video either. Uh, all she did for the video was get the costumes together and all that, but that was a huge job.
That's a crazy job.
It
That's
was
a big
huge,
job.
and she
Yeah,
made sure that the girls fit in their. I didn't have to call up
yeah,
and go, "Here's your size." I'm sorry, you know.
yeah,
But seriously, it was we had Sarah as the singer. I think I called her like the balladeer or
yeah.
the bard or
Storyteller. Yeah,
something on the thing, yeah. And to give it that 1800
look.
flavor,
Yes.
and then the lead girl was played by Savannah Stanley,
Yeah.
who's she's a brilliant young lady from Alabama, I think originally, and she's not only beautiful but she's brilliant, and she's an incredibly good actor. I can't tell you how incredibly easy it was to direct this young lady. She was extraordinary. She knew what you needed before you even you said, I want to do this and this and this. Well, I didn't really say that, but she's like, no, I understand exactly,
Yeah.
and she would execute it perfectly. I mean, just a pro. And the young guy, his name is Kenyon Ramos.
Yeah.
Uh, he just he has such a good look, and I saw him actually in a high school production. He was playing the lead role in Fiddler on the Roof,
Okay.
and that's one of the reasons that I wanted him to do it, because I saw him play an old person. He was playing an old man.
Mhm.
I forgot his name, but he's a guy in Fiddler on the Roof, and I thought, a guy who can play an old man that well, but who's that young and handsome, is perfect for this role. So I was able to get him, in there, and then, and yeah, his old man. I said, okay, walk out in this field, and then the drones like follow me. Walk out in this field, and he's got his old man stuff on and everything. It's 112 degrees because it's like in the middle of summer out here, and he's walking out there, and I notice I didn't even give him any direction. He starts walking, and he's like walking with his feet out like this, and and kind of, and it's like, God, he looks like he's 80. This guy's just doing it, He's studied this stuff. I just had good people.
Yeah.
A dear friend who's one of the best Irish music singers and players in this entire region. His name is Matthew Cook,
Yeah.
and he and his wife Erin, gosh, I think they're only 30. I mean, they're not even. They're about 30. They're not even old enough to be playing this girl's parents. But they made themselves look and act old enough to do the job. They look like the parents. It's
Cool.
funny because there's a scene in there. I don't know if I should give this away. No, I don't know if I should. No, I won't.
Are
Never
you
mind.
sure?
No, you're recording. I'm going to give this away. It's it's just one of the you have a lot of happy accidents, okay, when you're filming and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
There's one scene. I'll give you just a little bit of it. There's one scene where I didn't have what I needed. I forgot a shot that I was going to need to have. but I had them walking a certain. They were finishing up another shot, and the camera was still rolling, and they were walking a certain way, and it's like, and I found that in the stuff that was edited out. I found that, and it's like, this is perfect. This is absolute. The look on their face, because it was hot and they were tired and they were walking
Yeah.
off there, and it was perfect. So it's like it's one of those little happy accidents.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't shoot what I needed to, but I found what I needed to and what I shot.
It's supposed to be like that. So what did you use for film? Because you did like a lot of things. You directed, you produced, you do all kind. Did you also do the editing for this?
I did everything, yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
but I'll say
Shot everything.
I
I did.
know exactly the shoes you are in. I do the same thing.
Yeah,
Nowadays,
like I said, I had my assistant Tim Kennedy. He came and helped me when we were shooting on location.
yeah,
And but other than that, I shot, and then the blue screen, which was more than half of it, even was all shot back here at the studio,
yeah.
and it was on a blue screen actually. I don't know why I used that. I just did. It just looked better.
Oh, they both work, blue or green. I notice like when I'm shooting somebody with blonde hair, it's better to use a blue screen than a green screen because green
Yeah.
will
And
into
then
the.
we had that issue, and my wife has blonde curly hair. Okay.
Okay,
And so I've always shot on a blue screen because
yeah,
the first times I ever tried to shoot her, for a music video or something, and the green was, coming through the hair.
yeah,
Back in the days when now you just drop a plug in and bam, it's just done. But
exactly.
in the old days we had to tweak and mess with it, a lot.
What software did you use for your editing?
I used primarily I used Final Cut Pro
Yeah, I love that too.
for my editing. Oh yeah, I love Final Cut. It's just when they changed over all those years ago, I hated it because it was just not like anything in the
Yeah.
world. But they've done like something like 30 something iterations, 33 something, free updates of
Updates.
that
That
software.
that's what I love.
I've
Yeah.
never paid for it again. And it's like it's just incredible. And now it really rocks as a piece of software. I mean, it
Yes.
really, you know how to use it, and you know what their weirdnesses are. And so I used that, and I used a lot of the newest version of After Effects,
Oh,
Adobe
After
After
Effects. Yeah, yeah.
Effects, because I had some situations in this video. I mean, you can't tell, but it's because of the nightmare I had to go through. I had a lot of scenes that I shot on a background, not a screen,
Yeah.
but or they were off the screen, and
Yeah.
so I had non-screen stuff that I was having to, and so I used After Effects has a new rotoscoping tool. Uh, I forgot what it's called, but it's
Mhm.
absolutely the most rocking thing you have ever seen. You just tell it where to go, and then bam, frame by frame by frame, it just scopes it out for you. You don't have to move the little guys around
Yeah,
or.
I know that.
Oh, it was just fantastic. It just saved me, for this. I was literally able to take them out of scenes that are not, chroma keys, but just
Yeah.
scenes,
Yeah.
and take them completely out as people and preserve them and keep them. But yeah, it worked. And so what you asked what we used, I'll tell you real quick. We had two of these. This is a Panasonic CX350.
Oh, okay. Wow. Nice.
And uh, I got it for a lot of reasons. I wasn't really happy with the lens after I'd gotten it. I am happy with it now. I'm happy with what I got out of it. I thought I had to work too hard
Mm-hmm.
to get a beautiful look.
Yeah.
Uh, it took me too long. It took too long to focus with it. It took too long to do everything with it. But it's a great camera.
Yeah.
And then we used its little brother when we were out there, and a lot of those slow motion scenes that you see was actually us over cranking. And I forgot what that one is. Is it like the CX15 or
Yeah.
the smaller? It's
Mhm.
kind of like that one, only smaller. And we were able to run with them with that, because it was small and we could bounce around with it. Uh, and we did a lot of over cranking on that. I think we put it up to 180 or 200 frames a second or whatever it would do, so that we, purposely would, play it back in 24 frames and it would have that look.
Wow, like
And
you're a music producer and a composer first, but nowadays we need to wear so many hats to be this guy that we actually
well,
are,
if you don't, who will, and that's somebody's got to do all those things. And
Well,
um
I can see it in your production, man. It's beautiful costumes, well done. Like so. Was it at the location at the fair that you guys were able to get it there? The
The
costume?
costume?
Yeah.
No, we actually had to order all of those things and get them.
Okay.
But here's the fortunate thing about that. The pandemic, unfortunate, but the pandemic meant that costumes like that were you could get them all over eBay, or I mean,
Correct.
Amazon or
Yeah.
wherever I mean, you could just you could get they'd be there tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If they're the wrong size, they've got the right size. I mean, it was just that easy because nobody, people who would buy costumes like that to go to these types of festivals, period type of festivals, are not going. So
Yeah.
they're not buying these costumes. So there were plenty of them. It was actually easier than I thought. Making the guy up as an old man, this guy he's 18.
Yeah.
And so to make
That
him,
looked actually great.
yeah, we worked on him all day. I had a couple of makeup ladies come over here and we had the prosthetics and the beard and the whole thing. I mean, it was just insane what we had to do to him. The age spots.
Yeah. Well,
He
a
had
lot
a
of
great deal of fun, doing it.
wonderful. So what's for you in the future? Like are the things you're working on right now? What's happening?
We just finished a record, and we're or just about to finish a record, I should say. I got ahead of myself. We're almost done. We're at the mixing stage now, and that should come out sometime this spring. Meanwhile, as soon as we finish this, we have 10 songs on the album. We're going to start making 10 videos
Nice.
of some kind or another. Some might be as complex and as big of a production as She Moved Through the Fair, and some might be much smaller. But it's what we can afford, both, not even so much money, but time.
What I've been learning also now, and I work with artists, to also make like short videos. You 15 seconds teasers, promos for your Instagram, social media. And those are very helpful. You can see immediately the interaction, and people can go to your main video, then you send them to YouTube or to your song, because at
Yeah,
the end you want them to go to your song.
that's a great idea. Yeah, we've tried some of that too, and it has been successful.
Yeah.
The biggest success I think is when you marry the two, when you like put a Facebook or an Instagram post up there that is like that 15-second video you're talking about.
Yeah.
That is just for that. It's just for Instagram,
Exactly.
just for Facebook, but when they click on it, they go onto your YouTube. Yeah, we did a couple of those for She Moved Through the Fair. We didn't have time to do a whole bunch more because
Mhm.
we had another album we had to start. But
Yeah, that's important.
yeah, it is. It never ends. I mean, and nowadays especially, we just finished or just finishing up our 20th album is 2000, or 20th
Wow,
full-length album is 2002. And it's my probably 40th album that I've made in my career of some kind or
that's
another.
amazing, man. That's
And I've
amazing.
made a lot of stuff. I've made a lot of, I mean, I've done heavy metal records, and I've done, I mean, everything. And I've done trailer music.
Yeah,
I did a lot of trailer music for a library for APM that was working off of APM.
yeah.
Um, and that's fun.
Oh,
Uh,
for sure. Yeah, I did some of those too. And scoring is fun. Or sound
it
design. It's so much fun. We have so many cool tools nowadays.
We do, yeah. I had two or three computers locked up, and they were
Yeah,
all playing like I had whole orchestras and whole.
yeah,
They're all sitting at the ready
yeah,
of hundreds of sounds and things, and just get in there and just compose. I could do the first one I would do 20 of them at a time in maybe 2.5 minutes. These are all action adventure
yeah.
trailer type, the pounding taiko drums and the
Yes.
screaming choirs in Latin, they're at the top
Yeah,
of their lungs type of thing, real intense stuff. And at the first one that I would do in a set, it would take me about 3 weeks to compose this 2.5 minute long, 3 minute long
yeah,
thing. By the time I was at the last one, it took 6 hours, to
yeah,
do the last one because by then you're rolling and your system and your workflow is
yeah.
just you're in it. You're
Exactly.
driving the car at that point, and And yeah, that was extraordinary fun.
Well, that's it's amazing. So we're expecting another 60 records at least, you know.
Oh, I hope so, if I live long enough. And then,
So now I wanted to thank you and your whole crew family to be part of this, and
thank you
yeah,
for
excited
letting
to
us.
have it screened on our festival.
All right. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you so much. Okay, I wish you a wonderful evening.
Okay, you too.
You too. Bye.
Bye bye.